So I want to take a moment to wish you and your family a wonderful holiday, a joyous holiday of Sukkot. As you can see, I'm sure many of you know what this is. The Yesro, the Lulav. We've spoken in the past what it represents. I'm sitting here in the Sukkah. But let me take a moment again, as I said, to share a thought that's been on my mind in regards to Sukkot. We find a dichotomy in the Talmud regarding Sukkot, or the Sukkah. On the one hand, the Sukkah is what is, in the language of the Talmud, is a dirat ara. It's a temporary home. On the other hand, we are told that you need to have elements within it that represents a permanent home. And this has implications, or this has sort of reflections in Jewish law. For example, you can't have a permanent roof, you have to have Sukkah, which is not a permanent roof. You can't have like a cement roof like you have in your home. On the other hand, the way you behave in the Sukkah is you have to do everything in the Sukkah like it would be your permanent home. And I think there's a lesson over here in both directions. On the one hand, both on a historic level, on a national level, we have never been able to feel total permanence in whatever home, whatever country we've been, because of the unfortunate rise of pogroms, of anti-Semitism. Even today in Israel, there's so much, too much terror and hatred directed towards Israel. And individually, often we have to worry about your bills. Could you pay your mortgage, etc. So the Torah tells us you have to go into the Sukkah. The Sukkah represents a temporary home, but it's God's home. It reminds us of the protection that we were provided when we left Egypt in a desert, where naturally you cannot survive. It says the Sukkah, you're in God's home, have full trust. The very trust draws down blessing. I had someone in my office the other day who unfortunately lost their job, so concerned about their livelihood, and in my office was their toddler, and the toddler was happy. And I asked him, why is the toddler not worried? And the answer obviously is that the toddler knows that they could totally count on the parents to provide. Now, while this is difficult and it's a hard level to achieve, but that's what the Sukkah both teaches us and gives us the strength. On the other hand, there are those who feel very certain with themselves. They're always living in comfort. They have had blessing in their lives. They have no worries. And they might think that it is, as the verse says, it's their know-how, it's their smarts, it's their cunningness, etc., that has gotten them where they are. Life has many surprises, and you don't know what tomorrow brings. Don't become arrogant. Always remain humble. Always remain thankful. Always remain appreciative. Know that you're in God's Sukkah. So that's the lesson in both directions. I mean, a while back I heard a story. An individual shared his own personal story. He was a youngster. He was a child when he survived the Holocaust, the Shoah. He lived in Romania, and his father was concerned. And listen to what he was concerned about. He was worried that they would not be able to fulfill the mitzvah of Sukkah properly, because to do so would identify yourself publicly as a Jew, and that was dangerous, literally putting your life on the line. Then his father came up with a brilliant idea. Their kitchen protruded a little bit outside the rest of the building. So he went ahead and he opened up the roof inside the kitchen. This way nobody from the outside could really notice. And they had a sukkah. He put some schach over there, the traditional covering. And his father was so overjoyed that he could fulfill the mitzvah of sitting in the sukkah. So, to the extent that he says that even later on, during the winter, they couldn't properly plug up the hole, and it was cold in the home, but his father wasn't cold because the joy of the mitzvah kept him warm. And he says that left such an impression on him for the rest of his life. In other words, in the temporary, fleeting, uncertain moment of that period of history and that individual's personal life, where you don't know if tomorrow you'll still be here, yet he connected to the permanence of his heritage, to the mitzvah of Sukkah that has survived thousands of years until we are here today, despite the greatest of challenges. So, and that is why it's a holiday, it's such a joyous holiday. So this is what we should do this year, Sukkot. We should remember these blessings, remember our history, remember that despite all the travelings and all the trials and tribulations and so on, we are here with the strongest of permanence by our connection, our deep connection to our roots, to Hashem, to God Almighty, to Torah and mitzvahs. That is the greatest trust and calmness that we could have to celebrate the holiday of Sukkot, both for ourselves, our families, our communities, and for all of society. So may you be blessed, may we be blessed.